All right, today we're going to talk about some internet drama, okay? And I'm not just talking about a specific one. I just mean in general, because on my channel I have actually covered a few internet dramas. Now, the first one that does come to mind is Hayley Welch, okay? The Hot Tour girl. So I definitely remember making that video because that took me ages, and it was kind of worth it, to be fair, because I got like close to 1,000 views, which for my channel is really good. You know, remembering that I only have 306 subscribers at the time of recording. And, that was really nice. But why did people care is kind of my question, you know? I mean, okay, I was like one of the first people to cover it and to kind of get my video out there quickly enough, which was very cool. I was very proud of myself for that. But why did people care? And I obviously think the Hayley Welch story is kind of unique in the sense because so many people lost so much money on her crypto coin. Essentially, if you don't know, she kind of rug pulled crypto coin. So she got all the people to invest and then she just pulled the money out, which 100% scumbag move. I mean, there's no denying absolute scumbag move. I mean, you can't do that. But, also, not everyone could have invested, right? So not everyone could have had money in there and have lost it. So why do we care? Why do people who didn't lose money care about the story? Mainly because I think she was controversial anyway. Hayley Welch, she was very controversial in her time. And often I think the case is that when you have drama with Meghan Markle and the royal family, or you have phase drama or something like that, it's because these people are well known, right? You think about family drama in your family or in any family, right? And, it's a big deal and it's big, but outside of your family, no one cares. But if it's on the internet, and it's a family feud in the royal family, everyone's business. All right. I mean, I went to America and as soon as people heard my accent, they wanted to talk to me about Meghan Markle and what I think about her leaving. And I said, I don't care. But that's besides the point. Why do they care? I mean, what does that have to do with them? They have the royal family has no political power, okay? And so what are they doing? But here's where I think it gets interesting. Is I think it brings people together in a weird way, right? And you're gonna have to listen. You're gonna have to hear me out with this one, okay? Because I understand that you actually have no ties, right? You have no ties to Hot Tour girl. We're gonna assume that you didn't lose money in her rug pull. Okay, we're also going to assume that you're not part of the royal family. So Meghan Markle doesn't affect you in any way, right? But you still care. Because when you go onto Twitter or X or whatever it's called, or you go onto YouTube or you go onto Instagram or wherever your social media is, right? You pick your poison. You go on and you hear about these stories and then you see the flood of comments, of response videos, of reaction videos, and it brings people together. Which is what I'm trying to say. If you hear a story about Meghan Markle or you hear a story about Hot Tour girl and you think that's outrageous, and then you get 1,000 other people commenting on the same videos saying that's outrageous, and they agree with you, then you're already in the club. You're already in agreement with other people. And I don't think there's much that anyone likes more than being agreed with or being told you're right. That's a good feeling. So I think that's kind of what it is, which is in itself not an evil thing. All right, it's not an evil thing to want to go and find like-minded people on the internet or kind of come together in a group and agree with people. But the place where it goes too far is in my opinion when people then decide to go on and make it their task to deliver justice to the people who were affected, right? So people who will dox a YouTuber or dox a internet personality, who will dox an internet personality just because they didn't like something they did, or they said something controversial, or swatting, right? That's a huge thing with swatting. You get Kai Cenat on stream, he's got, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people listening to him, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, well, SWAT just turned up, and you think, what kind of American psychodrama is this? But also at the same time, you think, that's crazy business. Why, if you don't like Kai Cenat, why do you take the time out of your day to go and swat him? I don't get that. Because you must have absolutely nothing going on. Because me personally, I'm sorry, but I don't have the time to go and make up a whole story about Kai Cenat's doing this, Kai Cenat's doing that, call the SWAT team and get him arrested. Like, I'm sorry, but my life is moving on. I've got things to go. I have fields to record mini podcasts in, like I'm doing right now, you know? So I'm busy, I'm afraid. I can't do that. But some people, they absolutely do make it their mission to deal and be, you know, knowledgeable about absolute nothing burgers of content. Like, you know, I'm not saying TV is like this, but definitely if you think about something like Love Island, okay? You think about a series like Love Island. My goodness, isn't that the most boring thing you've ever seen? They cut and clip and put ad breaks in every 10 minutes or whatever, 15 minutes or whatever it is, just to make it seem entertaining, just so you don't realize how boring the actual content is, you know? Like, it's just drama. They couple people up randomly, stick them in a villa where they can't leave except for to do one challenge a day or something. Like, they have to just stare and work out, swim, and then just talk to each other. And so, of course, drama is going to ensue. You know, you misplaced my hairbrush. Well, we can't be friends anymore. Yeah, I'm not happy with you, is what they say. I mean, or can I pull you for a chat? And you know that's when it's going to kick off. And everyone inches forward on their sofa, and they're like, wow, it's gonna start now. And then you get the Deliveroo ad, and you think, oh my goodness, why am I watching this? Why would I not just watch YouTube with YouTube Premium, no ads, watch the video, bing bang bosh, done? But that's besides the point. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right. My point is, why do people care about the drama? Okay, you watch something like Love Island, you've never met these people, you have no connection to these people, they get randomly coupled up, and then they're just stuck in the same house for a month or whatever it is. And they fight about, oh, you said this, you said that, you're looking at my boyfriend, you're looking at my girlfriend. Like, my goodness, it is literally what George Orwell wrote about in 1984. There is always something going on. There is a drama, okay? There is something going on in the local paper. There is this person killed this person, or this person broke up with this person, or we're at war with this country. Like, the constant noise, the constant ear-ringing, deafening tones of basically made-up nonsense just keeps you occupied and prevents you from being able to think for 2 seconds, right? That's why I like coming out here. I mean, look at this place. There's not much noise at all. I get the wind blowing, and I can sit and yap, okay? I mean, not that I like listening to myself, I really don't, but I'm pretty much the only one making noise out here. So this is my point. You know, we look at our phones and we have this drama. We have Hot Tour Girl, we have Love Island, we have the Royal Family, and all of it, you know, once you turn your phone off, you kind of don't care anymore. You're on to the next one. You keep scrolling. You keep moving through the timeline, okay? And so, yeah, I get what I said before, like, where, yeah, okay, it brings people together. It's nice it gives you that dopamine hit of being like, oh, I'm in a club. People agree with me. Wow, that's so cool. But the cost of that is creativity, is productivity, is you doing something that you wouldn't have otherwise done, right? You are literally paying with anything you could create. That is the cost of watching Love Island, of watching Reels, of watching on scrolling X, okay? Because your time is what's valuable. You don't give yourself time to sit, create, and think, and just make something. I mean, like, this literally might get like 2 views. I don't know. I literally don't know, okay? I have 306 subscribers. I probably get an average of less than 100 views each video, probably a lot less than that, right? And I'm out here, I'm making content, and maybe no one sees it, and maybe no one watches, but I feel happier doing this, and with knowing that no one will watch it, than I am if I just sit and scroll in bed, you know? And trust me, I have done that. So it is a little bit of like just a cope. You know, all this internet drama is a bit of just copium. You know, you just sit there and you scroll because then you don't have to think about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to get on with this, I could be doing this. Like, You know, how many times have you not gone to the gym because you just scrolled? You know, the internet drama was so good that you just did not want to go do some gym stuff. You know, and I'm not saying that like you have to go to the gym or you have to make something creative, but you're not even giving yourself the chance. You're not even giving yourself the opportunity to do it, right? But I think also, and this is kind of my third point here, right? We're going to move on from one and two. Internet drama can be very, very taxing, you know? I mean, okay, if it's your job, you walk in and you go to your office and you know, and you work at the BBC or CNN or whatever it is, and you just sit there and everything's handed to you and you're like, okay, read this off the teleprompter. Oh, we're going to Scott for the weather. Like, okay, that's a different thing. Because you come out and your colleagues are there and it's all fun. But the guy I think of when I think about what you know, that it's tiring, is PewDiePie. Okay, like YouTubers, right? I mean, obviously he has a great relationship with Marzi. I think his son just turned 2 years older as well, which is so cool. But there was a time when I was younger, I mean a few years ago now, where he would do Pew News. It was a segment called Pew News, right? And he would basically deliver us internet drama. And I really liked it. You know, I really liked it. My friends really liked it. And we used to come into school and talk about it. Be like, whoa, that was so funny when he said this. Or like, I can't believe that happened. But he stopped that segment. He stopped recording those videos because he said it was just too tiring. He said it was too tiring to keep going with just negative stuff all the time. You know, every day you're looking up on social media, you're burying your head in the screens just to go and find who's wrong's who, you know, so you can present it and maybe make a joke or two. And he said the negativity was grinding on him. Like he was pushed down by the negativity. Why is negativity so interesting? Why does that make the drama interesting? I don't know. There's obviously that part of our, you know, human caveman brains which are like, oh, you know, the gossip. They're so interested in the gossip. Why? Why do the cavemen care about gossip? Because back then it was all about who you can trust. I mean, I'm not saying today obviously you care about who you can trust as well, but if you're going out hunting and you're with a guy you can't trust, then that's no good, because if the saber-toothed tiger comes along and you can't trust the guy, then you're dead. So you need to be around people you can trust. And so if you're hearing gossip, you're hearing words that, oh, you know, Dave over, you know, 2 caves over, when he's very untrustworthy because, you know, he stole my berries or something like that, right? You're probably not going to go hunting with Dave because he's dishonest, he's not nice. And so gossip had a purpose, you know, it had a purpose to inform you. But you had to use that information in some real way. Not like, oh, Hot Tour Girl's evil, or, you know, okay, maybe that did have some real world application, but I mean like, not, oh, I don't like Meghan Markle because she moved to the US with Harry. Okay. What now? Like, what happens next? What are you actively doing with that information? How is that helping you in your day-to-day lives? So just to consume negativity for the sheer sake of consuming negativity is just the most pointless thing. Because like I said before, it's taking you away from doing something, from building something, from making something with your own 2 hands, with your own minds, your own ideas, right? And you might start off terribly, and it might be bad, and it might be hard. But you should do it anyway, right? I mean, this is what I'm doing. I made content for 3 years. Videos still suck. But game's the game. I'm still going to do it, right? But like I said before, I'd much rather be doing this, making content for 5 people, than I would be just, you know, sitting around scrolling. Sitting around, you know, watching endless mind-numbing slop on the internet. That 2 seconds later, once I close my phone, I forget it. You know, that's the other thing. Like, remember back, try. At the end of a great, good old scrolling sesh, you know, you threw TikTok for an hour, or Instagram Reels for an hour, or, you know, X, or whatever it is. Please, go and write down what each Reel or each TikTok you saw was saying. Like, try and remember each individual TikTok. What did you learn? What was it about? What made you laugh? Like, I find myself unable to recall anything that I watched when I'm just scrolling. It goes in and it goes out straight away. And so I can maybe remember like one, maybe two reels back when I'm watching them. But it goes in and out and it's pointless. And then I've just wasted an hour of my day. And, you know, internet drama is the pinnacle of that. Because you keep coming back. And my goodness, can you recycle internet drama? I mean, how many people, how many YouTubers, how many creators, me included, right, have made content just going over, dredging up old dramas or, you know, new dramas, but presenting them with your own twist. Like, it's not helpful to anyone. I knew when I made that hot tour video, I was like, oh, this is probably going to do well because it's hot right now. And, you know, it is interesting, but is it going to help anyone? No, not really. Like, I knew that from the offset. Should I not have made the video? I don't know. I mean, I guess you should let me know. Do you think I should have made that video? Probably not. Probably yes, probably no. I don't know. The amount of people my age, you know, mid-20s or early 20s or, you know, even early teens, right? They go, damn, I've got nothing going on. You know, you come home from school, do your homework, and then it's like, damn, I've got niche going on. And you're like, I've got no time. I've got no time. And you go back to school and the grind continues. Yeah, well, you have no time because you spend 5 hours on reels a day. Please look at your screen time on Instagram. Look at your screen time on YouTube. Look at your screen time on TikTok. Think about if you had all that time back, what could you have done? Like, what could you have done? So, it's not even about internet drama at this point. It's just about the internet. You know, it's the classic, it's those damn phones is what your mum will say. And you know what? Maybe she was right. You know what? Actually, she was right. It is those damn phones. Sometimes people go into dramas they just don't even have any business being in. Okay? And this nearly happened to me. So I'm speaking from experience, right? I'm saying DDG and Halle Berry, or whatever her name was, right? Came up on my X feed. Jokic. He's like, oh, they broke up, or they're getting a divorce, or like this is happening, or this is like the drama was there in front of me, right there for the taking. And I was near. I was close, guys. I was close to being like, you know what? Yeah, let me get into that. Let me read the threads. Let me watch the reaction videos. Let me get involved. I want to hear what this is up about. But I didn't, and I probably saved, you know, hours of my life by not doing that. But it's tempting, is what I'm saying, and I get why people are tempted, right? Because it gets you like that, it picks you up. But resist the temptation, and you can do so much. Like, you can literally do so much, or you can start to do so much. So it's worth it. Give it a try.